I'm here at Friday. Hey, Jacob. 5:20 Friday evening ish. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone has a good upcoming weekend. As mentioned before, I'm looking at Brian Lane, who just did 100 Navy SEAL burpees with squat chasers, getting ready to work. That's how Brian Lane gets ready to go to work. We get Jacob support and Jacob love. Thank you, Jacob, my friend. So,
Hey, excuse me, what is one piece of financial advice?
apologize, guys. Bringing up my live stream. I want to bring up my present live stream, not the one I just did a couple hours ago, which was an interesting and fun live stream, as they often are. You know, I'll tell you what, I think the um, morning live streams, the 5 a.m. live streams, are the most profound. They seem to offer me the most. I always feel this deep connection with the people that come by and visit at 5 a.m. Because, man, 5 a.m. Who wants to be awake at 5 a.m.? You got to be crazy or a yogi or a saint. Mir says, hey, Sir Yogi, beautiful people there. Hey, Mir, my friend, how are you? And I mean that quite literally, that you got to be crazy, a yogi, or a saint, or practicing to be one. Because in the yogic tradition, it's called, and not just yoga, but specifically Brahma Muhurta, the hours of God, fluid hours. Hey, Nightmare, my friend. Nightmare says, I'm here, Eric. Don't worry. Calm down. I'm here and breathe, my friend. So that means I can call off the search party. I can make sure that all the people I have out looking for you turn around and come home now. Let's see. Mir says, how are you, sir? And that he is good. Mir, I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well, my friend. Thanks for asking. So, Brahma Muhurta literally translates into the hours of God. Fluid time frame. Nightmare says, yes, Eric, tell everyone I have returned. Well, you know what? Let's leave him out there just for a little bit. Be good for him. Give him a little bit of exercise. Mir says, stay blessed, sir. Stay blessed, sir. Thank you, Mir. I certainly will try. But you know, across the spectrum, Florida Boy says, where's my pumpkin pie? Hey, you're going to have to take that up with Nightmare, because I believe he did promise pumpkin pie for everyone yesterday in the live stream. Right when he was saying goodbye, he said, hey guys, tomorrow, pumpkin pie for everyone. It's on me. Nightmare says, good idea. Nature's good for them. It is good for them. It's good for us all. I'm hoping. I was going to do it today, but Mocha was caught up with schoolwork. A yoga program that consists of you wake up, you say thank you, an essential part of the plan. Gratefulness. Say thank you. And then you are on the mat, on the yoga mat. You do 3. I might bring it up to 5. I've even considered 6. But man, now we start adding on to it and making it longer. And it's no longer just the essentials. So that's for now until tomorrow. We keep it at 3. 3 postures. And then we sit in another posture, Rasana, which is the diamond pose. And we do some breath work. We are reoxygenating the body. And then we got prayer of gratitude, we have the yoga asanas, we have breath work, and then we get outside and we continue nasal breathing as we walk in nature or we sit in nature, depending on our mobility, our health, or whatever. And some people might say, well, if it's a complete path of yoga, where is the meditation? It's a good question, and I'm glad you asked me that. First off, Mira says, "Hey, to Runner Boy." Nightmare says, "Free pumpkin pie for anyone who can do a black backflip on the spot." Man, you put me on the spot right now to show off. If I had more room, if my cat wasn't here, if I was younger, if my back didn't hurt, if I had more hair, if I wasn't wearing my glasses, if I hadn't already done a backflip just a minute ago. How are those excuses? Do you need any more? Because I got a bunch of them. If Runaway wasn't here because he makes me feel shy. Hey, Austin, how are you, my friend? Austin says hi to everyone. What's new with you, Austin? Excuse me. It's that lack of pumpkin pie. How are you, Austin? Nightmare says a front flip can pass, but you will be seriously judged. Your choice. Well, all of my excuses for the back flip apply to the front flip only in reverse. Austin says, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. You're welcome, my friend. Runner Boy says a lot of it's yogi, but not many buts. A lot of ifs, but not many buts. It wouldn't surprise me if Runner Boy could do a backflip. It wouldn't surprise me if Eric LaPointe could do a backflip. So, anyway, back to your original question. Where's the meditation? And I'm glad you asked me that again so I could remember. The meditation is in the walk. I've mentioned this before. As soon as you get outside, in nature, and everything is nature, a blade of grass, a cloud, the sky, a leaf, an ant, a breeze, it's all nature. As soon as you get out in nature, specifically visually, then your eyes immediately react and send signals regarding the fractal patterns that they've registered, which puts you in a very light state of alpha brainwave, which is the beginning state of meditation. It is also where our creativity and our thoughts and our inspiration, our ideas come from. It's the whispering of the muse. It relaxes us, it reduces stress. It is meditation for those who can't sit, especially if you're nasal breathing. And if you want to make it even more profound, then we enter the mantram. The mantram is different than a mantra. And I'll explain that in a minute, because I got a serious spiritual question from Runner Boy. Yogi, can you whistle with a blade of grass? I can do it. I can do it. But can you whistle like this? It's been a while. I'm out of practice. Can you do it? Not that I'm showing off. That should get me 10 more views, guys. That should get me, I got 8 people here and 5 likes. That should get me 8 likes, right? Showing off an ancient McCarty whistling skill passed down from generation to generation. My dad taught me how to do it. I thought it was so cool that he could do it. Let me know if you want to hear me do it one more time. Nightmare said that whistle just earned you pumpkin pie. Finally. Runner Boy says, laughing, no, I've tried that, but I can't. Just takes practice. I probably haven't done this I might have shown it off to my stepdaughter decades ago. I used to do it for my corgi. We used to call it the call of the corgi. And I can do it right-handed and left-handed. Not to show you how talented I am. Not to show you how talented I am, but hey, it's there. Squirrel Sniper says, last night I slept like a log. I woke up in the fireplace. That's no place for a Squirrel Sniper. Nightmare says, talented man. Well, sadly, that's it. That is the extent of my talent. Fornaway says, I can do it right and left-handed. Uh, what is it I can do? I'm not sure I want to know, Runner Boy. Sniper says, greetings, beautiful souls from across the pond, but under the same skies. Yeah, I'm a little afraid to ask what Runner Boy can do right-handed and left-handed. So, back to the original question about meditation and about the difference between a mantra and a mantra. A mantra, as we do it in primordial sound meditation, is a vibratory frequency slowed to syllables that we repeat as we meditate. And yet it's a very subtle, and yet let's call it silence. It's a frequency of silence slowed down to something that we can hear, something that we can say, but it still is silence itself. So as we meditate on the mantra, we grow back into silence. We go from the manifest back to the unmanifest from which we originated from. And then a mantra is a holy name. It could be Mother Mary, it could be Jesus, it could be Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It doesn't matter. You pick that holy name that resonates with you. I do like Rama quite a bit, by the way. The mantra you keep to yourself, the mantra you can share, because we can always share a holy name. Dino12 says, long time no see. Hello, my friend. How are you? What's new, Dino? So if you wanted to turn your walk in nature, nasal breathing, after you've done your asanas and your breathing into a deeper meditation than just the fractal patterns. I can't believe I said fractal patterns twice and Eric LaPointe or Duncan Walsh haven't shown up in the room. Usually, if I say fractal patterns, they're here, like that. You would go out in nature, nasal breathing, absorbing the fractal patterns, which take no effort at all, and you repeat to yourself the mantra, the holy name. You'll get distracted, you'll think of other things, and then you'll remember the mantra and you'll go back to joyfully thinking it. Thinking it isn't a chore. Very gently, very easily. And you walk. You don't need to match it with the breath. You don't need to match it with the stride. And now we're not even talking about sounds, the sounds of nature and what they do for the brain. That is a complete yoga plan right there. Your life will be, do that for, I'm not much of a challenge. Do this for 30 days. I'm not much of a person like that. However, here's a challenge. Do it for 30 days and report back and let me know how you feel. Your life will be profoundly changed through that practice. Since you're not paying me, I can safely say money back guarantee. Sniper says, is silence intent listening or stopping thoughts presenting itself? It is listening. Silence is the allowance for thoughts to be. There's no need to ever try to stop a thought, which is a fruitless task, because how do you stop it? With another thought? It's simply listening to the background, of which is always present. Without silence, nothing would make sense. It's the silence between notes that makes the song. The space within a vase or a vase, depending on who you are. If you're on hoity-toity, hoi polloi, you might say vase. That holds the flowers. In Zen, they say it's the space between the bars that holds the tiger. Dina says, just chilling, shot IHOP on Roblox with my friend, or a different game alone. You know what? I don't know what, I know it's a game, Roblox, and I've heard people talk about it. still to this day, I don't know what it actually is. What do you do on Roblox? One boy says, I do a lot of that, Yogi, but I'll need to do the mantra thing. So you're no longer on, send me an email. I know you're no longer on Facebook. You said you used to be. It's been a few years. I'll teach you primordial sound meditation. I will give you your personal mantra, which corresponds to your birth date and when you were born, including the time. And it is very, very powerful. Hi, Kathy. I'm glad you showed up, Kathy. Nightmare says, silence is becoming my favorite thing as I get older. Worrying. It should be relaxing. It should be very relaxing. As Herman Melville said, silence is the only voice of God. Silence is the background of the universe. You can trace the sacred syllable Om all the way to silence. Everything makes sense because of silence. If it wasn't the emptiness between letters, we wouldn't understand words. It would just be letters back to back to back. If it wasn't the space between words, sentences wouldn't make sense. If it wasn't the emptiness of a page, none of it would make sense. So anyway, I was saying I'm glad Kathy showed up because we are on a mission. I was talking to Kathy Seat Payton earlier. Kathy's at 434 subscribers, and our goal by the end of next week is 500. So I will mention it frequently. If you guys are not subscribed to our good friend Kathy, please do. Let's see. Dinah says it's like ink. It's not its game itself. It's like a game launcher with multiple games. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Nightmare says 4:45 now. Hey, thank you, Nightmare. You know what, Nightmare? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care what Runner Boy says about you. I don't believe any of it. You're okay in my book. Fred, Booties wouldn't make sense without the crack. Booties wouldn't make sense without the crack. Man, that is so zen that I don't even understand it. You've out-yogied the yogi. Skull Sniper says, so silence is not the absence of sound or thought. It's just being without reaction. Nice. I like that. And we can say, that's why I love that Herman Melville, silence is the only voice of God. Silence is from which creation springs from. Everything was quiet, and then came the word of God. Yep, science is just being. Squirrel Sniper just nailed it. If I had a mic, I would drop it. If I had a mic, I would hand it to Squirrel Sniper because he said it, and then he could drop it. Runner Boy says, Yogi, can you guess what I'm eating right now? I'm going to say a piece of cheese. I'm going to guess a piece of cheese. Nightmare says, Runner Boy, he does have a lot of explaining. He does have a lot of explaining to do. Pringles. That means he must be running because we only eat Pringles when we're running. My food addiction. Sheena is here. Sheena, my friend, how are you? Been enjoying your live streams, Sheena. Very inspiring. Runner Boy says, Yogi has indeed thrown me under the bus. Got in the bus and ran me over. Well, yeah, I did. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I threw Runner Boy under the bus. Do you know why? Because he doesn't know how to whistle like I whistle. Sheena's, we got a laughing out loud. Kathy says, hi, food addiction. And we get a heart from my food addiction. Hey, how was your walk today, Sheena? Sniper says, I won't copy that. No deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson called me out once on Twitter. I don't remember what I said, but he called me an asshole. True story. And I no longer remember what it was all about. Let's see. Sheena says, good and thank you. Kathy says, hi to Runner Boy. Sheena says, it's hot today. Did you get it in? I've often found, sometimes we just go slow. When it's hot, we just slow down. We get the steps in, but we don't worry about how fast. Let's see. Sniper says, he's an actor and not a physicist. I thought he was a physicist. I thought he was a astrophysicist. Went to Columbia University. University of Texas and then Columbia University. Give me a second, guys. Staff scientist at Princeton. I don't know. He founded Center of American Museum of Natural History, where Tyson founded the Department of Astrophysics. Regardless, he did call me an asshole on Twitter. Let's see, where did I leave off? So, I mentioned this not every time. Well, every time Sheena comes in the room, but not exclusive to that, because I like to put it out there even when she doesn't show up. She's got a very important channel. She is doing something very difficult. She's taking charge of her health. Not everyone does that. Everyone should, but it isn't easy. But she's stepping up. She's doing it. She's committed. She's walking every day. She is following a very strict diet. Hey, Sheena, are you connected with Joe Delaney? Joe Delaney is an amazing person who has lost a tremendous amount of weight. Now, Sheena is doing this to lose weight, but more importantly, she's doing it to regain her health. So the losing weight is like a side effect. When you do something for health, then you get all those other side effects. Fred says, drop that knowledge, Yogi. I do my best. And if I don't have knowledge, then I'll just make something up. Sometimes I do that. I'll make something up, like eat Pringles when you run. Things like that. Just off the top of my head, no reason. Runner Boy says, I still thank the bus driver. That was awful polite of our friend Runner Boy. Sheena says, I took my daughter to buy a car, so I'm walking tonight when it cools down. Nice. Thread says, have a rap battle with him with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Man, I think he can beat me. I think anyone could beat me in a rap battle. Except maybe Runner Boy. I think I could take him. And you know what? If I ever do a live collab live stream, it's going to be me and Runner Boy trading rhymes. Putting it out there. Anyway, Joe Delaney used to weigh 500 pounds, and I don't know where she is now, but she has lost well over 300. I think it was 350 pounds. I should look her up because I might be getting my numbers slightly wrong. However, I love talking with her because one of the things that we talk about is something that is very dear to me, that is mentioned in the Course of Miracles. And I read it tonight on my little video I did on the Course of Miracles. It's pointless to believe that controlling the outcome of misthought can result in healing. When you are fearful, you have chosen wrongly. That is why you feel responsible for it. You must change your mind, not your behavior. And this is a matter of willingness. So what they mean is, you must change your mind, not your behavior, is if you always stay on the level of behavior, you're endlessly chasing all of these behaviors, correcting, making mistakes, correcting, making mistakes. But if you go to the source of those behaviors, which is the mind, and you make the changes there, and you do that through forgiveness, you do that through love, you do that through deep meditation and prayer, whatever that might mean to you, you do it through breath work, then when the mind begins to change, your behaviors change automatically, permanently. You're a different person. No true change happens without healing. I get the feeling that with our friend Sheena, I am preaching to the choir. Semper says, no red cards in here. Laughing, I have the power. Squirrel Sniper's the man. He is a squirrel sniper. Let's see. Semper says, check his credentials as an actor. Well, yeah, I mean, he's, done stuff. He's been in movies and TV shows, but he always plays Neil deGrasse Tyson. Kathy says, I bet your daughter was excited. Yeah, that's a big thing, isn't it? Getting a car. Runaway says, my great-grandfather met Albert Einstein. Hey, that's pretty awesome. How'd that come about, Runaway? Nightmare says, how dare him? Tell him I'd like a word. I don't think we are on speaking terms anymore. Let's see. Sheena says, yes and no, Joe. Yes, she's amazing. Sorry, putting burgers on the grill. Understandable. She did have surgery, I believe. Kathy says, wow, that's incredible. Yeah, it is. Absolutely incredible. See, Kathy said, or did she do it, or I'm sorry, Sheena said, or did she do it on her own? I believe she did have surgery and worked extremely hard. Boy says, Yogi, do you recommend coffee? I've never had coffee before. You know what? I'm not going to recommend coffee. But I will tell you I enjoy coffee. And I have since my teenage years when I had to get up early for a job. My whole family always, well, my parents, my aunts and uncles, my grandparents, everyone drank coffee. My brother, who's older than me, has never had a cup of coffee in his life. He drinks a lot of soda, though. I cut down a great deal of my coffee because it was causing sleep issues and it was feeding into some anxiety that I was experiencing when I was caregiving for my father. And I find it better if I keep it to 1 cup. I have it in the morning. I have it 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm writing. 1 cup is perfect. I love it. I love knowing I'm just having that 1 cup, and it makes it sacred. Sacred cup of coffee. One day, I will be having my cup of coffee in a Ann's Crap Chat mug, coffee mug. That's a promise. And how are you, my friend? So, you know what? You might not like it when you first try it. I think you're better off drinking coffee than you might having a beer. I know some people might not appreciate that. Fred says, throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Man, Fred, I can't do that. You know why? Because I care. I care deeply. Food addiction says, true. And Sheena says, take your time. I'm working on not having a response to negative people. Takes time. I'm working on. Yeah, it's tough. And it's tough doing what you do. Being so forthright and honest, going on your live streams and telling people, hey, this is where I am, but it's not where I'm going to be. I can't believe someone like Sheena puts it all out there, open and honestly, and someone would take it upon themselves to be negative. It just amazes me to have the courage that she has. And someone just can't open their heart and respond accordingly to that. But hey, and I've seen it. You handle it with a lot of grace. Thread says Neil deGrasse Tyson is a punk. He fakes the funk and is a sloppy drunk. Ford, hey, that was pretty good. You know what? I think Squirrel Sniper might need to hand the mic over to you and allow you to drop it. Kathy says, Thread, be nice. Thank you, Kathy. Let's see. Running Boy says, Yogi, I believe he was just in a lecture. He was holding. Oh, okay. Nightmare says, bars. Dropping the beats. Kathy says, yes, no negativity here. Let's see. So, Ann Swaven says, Yogi. And I enjoyed your live stream, my friend. Ian Watts says, good morning. Hey, Ian, how are you? Eric and all, hope you have a great weekend. You too, Ian. How is the music, my friend? Wonderboy says, drink a lot of soda. Maybe that's a trait people who don't drink coffee drink soda. Yeah, that could be. But man, soda is really bad for you. There are some health benefits to coffee. It's good for brain health. Trace amounts of B vitamins. No redeeming qualities to soda. None. So our friend Ian Watts above is a very talented musician. Nightmare says slow, Ian, and double. And Ann says good. Wonderboy says cause and effect. Exactly. Thread says keeping it real. Yogi Yog. Ian says been doing going well here. Great weather here for fishing. Hey, I wish some of our fishing friends were here. I'd recommend visiting their channels. Ian says, hope you're all having a great day. Thank you, Ian, my friend. Kathy says, hi, Ian. Mir says, so Yogi, stay blessed. Thank you, my friend Mir. Not only is Ian a talented musician, he makes instruments, which just amazes me. To be able to do that and then be able to listen to it. Mir says, hey, Sister C. Payton. Hey, guys. Are you subscribed to our friend Kathy Payton? Because we are on a mission by the end of next week. It's at 435 right now. We want to get to 500. Runner Boy says, crazy to think if an apple didn't fall on Albert Einstein, we, we wouldn't have gravity today. It is crazy to, I agree with Runner Boy. I don't always agree with Runner Boy, but I agree 100% that it is crazy to think that if an apple didn't fall on Albert Einstein's head, we wouldn't have gravity today. It is crazy to think that. Sheena says so to Mir. Mir says, Runner Boy, now you start. Sheena's laughing. Mir says, so Yogi watching. I appreciate that, Mir. Runner Boy says, so maybe I try and switch soda with coffee and tea. Tea has so many redeeming qualities. Specifically, although for some it might be an acquired taste, is green tea. Doesn't have a whole lot of caffeine. It does have some. You might not want to drink it too close to bed. But they have said 6 cups of green tea a day. Really any kind of tea, but I think green tea has more antioxidants in it. Will drastically improve your health. I keep meaning on adding green tea back into my routine, and I keep forgetting. Tina says Ian is cool, and he sings. Absolutely. Kathy says she subbed to Ian. Nightmare says thoughts on Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Well, Jake Paul's gotten better. But man, Mike Tyson, even at 58, is Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? He's been in battles. He was, man, him and I are just about the same age. I'm just a little bit older. So, of course, I got to root for the older guy. He's in phenomenal shape. I'm going to go with Mike Tyson. Ian says, composting more music, mainly for clarinet and oboe at the moment. I think I might have mentioned, I don't know if you were here when I did, my mom played clarinet and got a partial musical scholarship. California University, which surprisingly to many is in Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania. It's a teacher's college. And my mom became an exceptional teacher. Composing. I figured that's what you meant. Nightmare says I drink green tea religiously. Nice. It is really, really good for you. Maybe, man, one of the easiest things that you can do to improve your health, your overall quality of the health. It says, thank you all now for support. Cheers. Absolutely. Happy to. He says, that's great, Eric. That's wonderful. Sadly, once my mom got out of college, she largely put it behind her. I think I only heard my mother play the clarinet once or twice. I would occasionally, at my grandmother's house, hear her play the piano. But we always had music. We always had symphony music, classical music playing, unless my dad got to the radio first, and then it was country music, old country music, back when it was good country music. Back when I think Ann and I are in agreement. I think we both agreed that George Jones is the king of country. That's how I recollect the conversation happening. I think it went along the lines of Anne said, you know who I love? This might sound a little random, Eric, but you know who I love? George Jones. And I said, hey, I heard he's the king of country. And she said, he is the king of country. Now, maybe it didn't happen exactly like that. Maybe for dramatic effects, some of the conversation has been slightly altered. Maybe I made the entire thing up. Maybe Anne said George Strait instead of George Jones. I'm just saying maybe. Maybe it happened that way. Maybe it didn't. Nightmare says, taste isn't the best, but I prefer it now as it's very beneficial. It is, very much so. Brennan Boy says I have green tea. 30-day challenge. 1 cup of green tea a day. Let me know how you feel. Ian says, that's absolutely wonderful, Eric. A musically gifted family. Unfortunately, no. I did not. Musically inspired family, but I didn't inherit. I didn't inherit the gift. I wish I had. My mother wanted me to take music lessons, meaning piano lessons. And I wanted to take guitar lessons. I was a kid. It was the 1970s, almost 1980s. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted guitar. And she said, learn music, learn to play the piano, and then you can switch. You'll be able to play anything. And I was like, nope, guitar or nothing. And she said, you will regret it. She was absolutely right. Almost always, guys, your mom is almost always right. Almost. So, Anne surprisingly says no. Huh. So you're saying that I'm recalling that conversation differently than it might have happened. That doesn't sound like me. I'm normally so accurate in my recollections. Kathy says I need to start playing my native flute. I'm not real good right now. It is something that you need to keep up and practice. I do have a ukulele that I got for a birthday present from Mocha maybe 10 years ago. Actually, I think I got it for my 9 years ago. Got it for my 50th birthday. Oh, George Strait. I got my Georges confused. All right. The truth is, Ann and I have a slight disagreement on who's the best George. She says George Strait. I say George Jones. However, I do like George Strait. Just, I don't know if I would elevate him to that George Jones level, personally. But Anne has many valid points. Photo Boy says, the guy that does the TV show, The Voice. Who is that? Anne is laughing. Which I'm happy about. Let's see. We got a heart from Sheena. Ian says, my aunts were gifted musicians and one uncle. As for immediate family, Amit. Well, hey, how do you come about to making instruments? To me, that's as fascinating as being a musician itself. And it makes me wonder, could you truly make an instrument if you weren't a musician? Would you have that same appreciation for the craftsmanship if you weren't able to play it? I don't know. What do you think, Ian? Food Addiction says, sounded like he said cheesesteak. Well, vegan cheesesteak. T says, hey, T. Hello, Yogi and everyone. T, my friend, how you doing today? Kathy says, hi, Bumblebee. Nope, George Jones passed away. George Jones has a TV show. Maybe a George Jones. You got a George Jones that probably does everything. I bet you there's a truck driver named George Jones. But the George Jones, the country music legend, the king of country, according to some, me, passed away, I believe, in the 1980s. And says the validity of your choice, George, unfortunately, is wrong. But they're still my bud. I appreciate that. And I appreciate how you worded that, most especially. T says, hi, Ian Watts. I made it over to your channel today whilst I was waiting on a visitor. Your violin are amazing. One boy says, I found a guy on TikTok that builds and plays country songs on guitars and sings really well. Nice. It's not that wombat again. We have been wombat free. Oddly enough, I declared this an open wombat channel. Any wombat can wander in freely, and now they don't show up. Imagine that. However, I think we've all come to believe it's not the wombats that we have to worry about. It's the squirrels. The squirrels are turning on us. Once friendly visitors, although, I don't know. Anne was very, very kind with her squirrel. There was no trouble there. I think it's just Sue and I who all of a sudden are in, maybe they're just being mischievous. They don't have ill intent. There's no way that my squirrel could have known that dropping that giant walnut on my head could possibly kill me. For a squirrel, I was thinking, could be fun. Look at that big bald head walking under my tree. Perfect target. I get an eye roll from Ann. T says, hey, Yogi, I'm good. Been exhausted with this infection, but I'm treating naturally. I had my OBS taken today and no concerns. Good. Then your natural treatment seems to be working, right? Sue says hi to C. Peyton. Ian says to make instruments is blood, sweat, and tears. If I was a musician, I would probably still make a violin. It would be a challenge. I love challenges. But how would you know that it's going to play the way an instrument should? Can you really fall in love with an instrument if you don't play it? I don't know. Maybe. I have fallen in love with paintings before, and I don't paint. Anna's laughing. Sue says double trouble, smiling. Just when Sue says, I'm here. Hey, Buddha. Hey, Yogi and everyone. In background, making ginger and turmeric fruit blender. And now straining. Nice. I just had my herbal and turmeric tea. Herbal tea. Buddha says, hey, sis Bumblebee Tea, sending healing prayers. Thank you, Buddha. Eden says it makes it slightly easier to make a violin with drafts and templates. But the big key is a lot of patience. Yeah, I would imagine so. Patience is the key to everything. I watch our good friend Stuart the Fish Whisperer tie fishing flies, and he's just so patient as he sits there through the repetition of the movement. It's got to be a form of meditation for him. That's why I call him the Zen master of the fishing community. He says, Yogi, it's too early for natural, but I find out maybe Monday or Tuesday. Gotcha. Sue says, my wombat is out here with me. That's good, because as much as I said we don't need to worry about wombats, we should still probably keep an eye on them, just to be safe. Hey, Skylar. Skylar says, rotisserie chicken salad. So you cook the chicken rotisserie and then you make salad out of it? Buddha says, yes, and I can't play them, but I try back to straining. Gotcha. She says, I love the drums, but don't know how to play. Our friend Bumblebee T plays the drum. Very meditative instrument that T plays. Hey, Noxie. Noxie Bro says, how's your day going? It's going pretty good, my friend. Speaking of drummers, Ringo Starr, the Beatle that I long dismissed. Am I cycling through my love of all the Beatles? I've gotten to really appreciate his drumming skills. If you ever listen to the song Rain. Listen to the drumming. Noxie says, how's your day going? It's going pretty well. I have no complaints. I got my 2 walks out in nature in today. I filmed another woodpecker, which was awesome. I saw a hawk, and I got a film of that. Not real clear. And a crow. I love filming crows. Buddha says, I make it from scratch. Nice. Buddha says, what? Wombat? Where you heard this? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, Buddha. I don't remember how we got started about wombats. I know Milka McCarty introduced it for some reason, and I took it and ran with it, and everyone else took it and ran with it, and it's been ongoing. We have a code 1 instituted by Eric LaPointe for the wombat invasion. I think we can relax that now. Got to be sure to mention that to Eric LaPointe. Sue says, I've always loved percussion instruments. Do you have a favorite drummer? T says, thanks everyone. I've been lazy all day, and I've got some energy, physical. So I'm trying to unpack and tidy up the temp accommodations, hotel room, and sort it. Living from 20 bags is hard. I lose things. I'm glad that you can unpack and relax. He says, that's great. I love photography. Mocha's a true photographer. She's actually in college right now, finishing off an associate's degree in American Sign Language and photography. She got me for my birthday back in April. It's like this big. It's called a Canon Power Zoom. It's got 3 zooms on it. You can take a photo and you can do videos. And I started doing nature videos. Absolutely fell in love with it. I live in an amazingly beautiful area with diverse wildlife in the middle of the suburbs. We got everything from an occasional bear wandering through to copperheads and hawks and eagles, owls, tons of deer, raccoons, possum, foxes, coyotes wandering through. If you guys can relax, we are wombat free. There has not been a wombat sighted in Columbia, Maryland since, I believe, 1796. Almost positive. Kathy says hi to Buddha. Man, Ian is just a all-around talented young man. That's amazing. We get laughing emojis from Buddha. T says, Sue, I have a still meditation drum. Please go to my channel and see. I have an intro about the drum and why I purchased it. It's a therapeutic drum too. I cannot play much. Well, I would argue that. Record from a hotel room. She does an amazing grace. Poor man. Hey, poor man. How you been? Says Brother Yogi in chat. How you feeling, poor man? T says, Yogi and Miss Mocha, when will she be back in chat? She popped in, was it yesterday or the day before? Been real busy with school. She might pop in tonight. Legend has it, if you say Mocha 3 times in a row as you're turning in a circle, she will appear. I've never tried it because Mocha thinks I'm weird enough without throwing in extra stuff. T says, I'm listening in and contributing when I can. Just holler if you need me. But don't burn off this excess energy now. 23:15 p.m. I won't sleep until 6 a.m. Gotcha. Understood. Get a heart emoji from Sheena. Thank you, Sheena. Poor man says, sleep deprived, but I got a card in 36 minutes, so all's good. Awesome. What's up with the sleep deprivation? T says, Mocha, 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 are you hiding in the background? Now we will see if the legend is correct. The Legend of Mocha. I can tell you one thing about Mocha appearing. She appeared in my life at just the right time. 2002, just 3 years off of a decade of literally attempting to drink myself to death. Just fortunate that I didn't take anyone with me in that attempt, and it was dicey for a while. And then 3 years of lonely sobriety, and I don't mean lonely in a bad way. I needed that loneliness. I needed to turn away from all the years spent in bars, all the years of pursuing things that I didn't even know what I was pursuing, but I knew it didn't have value, but I chased it anyway. So when I was given the gift of sobriety, and it was truly a gift of grace, handed to me, didn't even have to work for it, didn't deserve it. That's the nature of grace. I spent 3 years meditating, writing, keeping to myself. Went to a bookstore, work, and gym, and I meditated, and that was it. And when I was ready, Mocha appeared. And in 22, almost 23 years, we have been through everything two people can go through together. Poor man says, oh, T says, poor man, what do you mean by a card? And he answers, Iron Wolf's Lawn Card Bumble. Yep, if you haven't checked out Iron Wolf, definitely do so. Burpee practitioner legend. Poor man says, pretty sure I have a sleep disorder. A neighbor with mental issues was honking his horn and screaming in the middle of the night, so that didn't help. Yeah, that would not help at all. Hey, poor man, on my page, on my channel page, you should be able to find a video I made on sleep hygiene. If you want to give it a watch, if you don't want to give it a watch, and if you want, I'll devote a whole live stream just to talking about sleep, and possibly our good friend Bumblebee T, who has also had sleep issues, so she's learned some very important ways of managing that, would join in as well. Tennessee White Trash says, did you all fool around with other couples? We did not fool around with other couples. We had, it was enough, her and I. And still is. But what we did do was divorce. She actually went to war. She went to Iraq. I stayed with my 14-year-old stepdaughter, who was a single father for a while, as I was a caregiver for my mom with Alzheimer's and helping my dad recover from a stroke. She mentioned a divorce before she left, and then said, but could you stay with Anika? Which, of course, 100%. Anika being my stepdaughter. And then we did get divorced when she came back a couple years after. And then we started doing ultra marathons together. And then we got back together. And then we separated again. But we've never been apart. In all that time, we have never actually been apart. That's the amazing thing. So there was never any need for another couple. Buddha says, turn on meditation music or sound bowl music. Excellent suggestion from Buddha. T says, poor man, I suffer a delayed sleep clock and I am a light sleeper because of trauma. I teach a limit I reach a limit with poor sleep, and I get a warning sign from my sleep deprivation, and I need to take drastic actions to get decent sleep. 4 Man says, I'm trying, man. Sucks. I'm even on meds. Nothing helps. I've been there. And it was coupled with panic attacks and anxiety with the added benefit of imposter syndrome, feeling like an imposter. Because here I was, an experienced meditator, an experienced breathwork coach, an experienced yogi. I taught people how to navigate through all the issues that I was going through. And out of the blue, not really out of the blue, COVID shutdown, I lost my business. I was caring for my father with congestive heart failure. A lot of other stuff going on. And I thought I was dealing with it mentally. What was happening was my body was showing me signs that I was not dealing with it. And I was ignoring them because I was an experienced yogi. I don't do that. I don't go through sleep issues. I don't have anxiety. How can I have anxiety? I've been in deep states of meditation. I've navigated through the unconscious mind. I can navigate through. I can't. No one can. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you need to know to ask for help. Let's see. T says I have a car avoiding alarm going off almost every night. I use noise canceling headphones, meds, supplements. Please try some breathing exercises and look up Yoga Nidra in Yogi's playlist. Definitely Yoga Nidra, especially. Here's the great thing about Yoga Nidra. It can help you get to sleep, but more importantly, it can give you quality rest deeper than sleep while still remaining awake. You're in that in-between state. And you can do it for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, or an hour. And it makes up the rest that you've lost. And you don't need to do anything but lay comfortably on your back and let a voice guide you through it. Yoga Nidra is pratyahara, the fifth limb of yoga. It's called yogic sleep. And they say that 1 hour of Yoga Nidra is the equivalent of 4 hours of sleep. So if you can find time to take 20 minutes in the course of the day to lie down, make yourself comfortable, and give yourself over to a guide, and excellent guides on YouTube. I have a playlist, not a me guiding, although I'm not quite there. I am working on a certification. Our friend T has been urging me along, which I appreciate. All I got to do is take the exam to get my certification. 1 hour is the equivalent of 4 hours of actual sleep. So especially poor man, because one, no one works harder, and then couple that with his amazing workouts. So yeah, to get that recovery, Buddha says, let's see. Sorry guys, fell behind. Poor man says, thought of I quit drinking, it would get better. Been sober 4 months, still struggling. It will. It takes time. Your central nervous system needs to reset from drinking to non-drinking. But it says, I got rid of my sleep insomnia by listening to meditation music on YouTube. You can go to Awakening Planet Wellness Academy. And if you have Alexa, ask her to play Precious Waters by, I've heard you mention that, by Diane Arkenstone. She is on YouTube. Thank you for that, Buddha. I have a passion for sleep hygiene, helping people sleep. Is on YouTube. He says, poor man, try to get a routine. If you can sleep, do not stress, worry, learn to accept it. After half an hour, get up and do a boring chore like ironing, washing, laundry. Poor man says, appreciate it, Bumble. I think it's more of a psychological issue. You know what? I would say it's an issue, and that means that it's too seamless to say. If it's a psychological issue, then it can start to cause hormonal issues, which can cause physical issues, which, you know what I mean? It works as a cycle. One thing causing the next, causing the next, causing the next. So if we address it holistically, everything gets fixed. If you address it just as a psychological issue, then it can discount the effects of the psychological issue. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, like I said, there's a whole I posted a whole probably less than 10 minutes sleep hygiene, from waking up in the morning to my waking up in the morning is in preparation for going to sleep. Everything I do is geared towards going back to bed. Sounds like a pretty boring day, right? But it just means that I'm mindful of the things that I do. It's why I have my cup of coffee at 4 a.m. and not at 4 p.m. Little things. 2 hours from my last meal minimum before I go to sleep. Speaking of which, I forgot to take my little sleep supplement. And T is absolutely right about routine. T says, or Buddha says, Bumblebee, I have 2 sleep insomnia due to my ex. It's a long story. And just to make it short, I just came home and listened to meditation music, and I joined Qigong. I did light activation, etc. Let's see. Well, get rid of the meds. Poor man says, thank you, Yogi. Always appreciate the back. Always appreciated. Back to work. Got you, my friend. And says, be right back. We got a heart emoji from my food addiction. Hey, Theme, how are you? Theme, are you going live tonight? Let's see. Tennessee says, everyone talks about yoga and stuff, but it just won't work for me. Heck, I'm fat heck, I'm too fat to barely cross my legs. Well, the full path of yoga has less to do with the physical aspect, and it's a spiritual path. That's the key to yoga. For good health, you know what I recommend? Going out for a walk. Going out for a walk. Doesn't matter where you walk to. If you can go out for a walk before breakfast, before you eat anything, even better. And I mentioned before, you can actually turn your walk into a form of yoga, but you don't have to. Poor man says, Buddha tried that. It's not an option. Buddha says, sound familiar, Yogi? Buddha says, I stopped my meds and I'm great, but no pill will help anyone sleep. Go natural and save your liver and kidneys. And Ann is back. We got a heart emoji from my food addiction. Kathy says the fresh air is good for you. It absolutely is, 100%. T says, yoga, I've woken up at the same time for 4 days. I've had my nap due to health for 3 days. Today I was in bed, but my brain was going too fast. The exposure to light today too. Did you do the Ujjayi breathing? The ha? That would really help slow your thoughts down. The key with thoughts Nesco says, hey, I'm back. Welcome back, Nesco. The key with thoughts, we always place a big emphasis on controlling our thoughts. You cannot control your thoughts. You might think you can. You can't control your thoughts. We shouldn't even bother trying to control our thoughts. Meditation isn't about getting a quiet mind. Meditation is noticing that thoughts exist within an already quiet mind. So what's there to control? Just be watchful. Watchful of your thoughts. Let them pass. If they're passing fast, they're passing fast. If they're passing slow, they're passing slow. But when you relate to the witness and not the content, everything changes. T says hi to Sheena. T says, double trouble. Are you Ann? She is Ann. Oh, hi. T says, Yogi, please set a time. We have a chat about sleep hygiene over the weekend, if you can. I think we can. You got it. Lover Toy Pups is here. Man. And she's given out all the hearts. I don't think there's any hearts left on all of YouTube. Much appreciated, my friend. Toy Pup says, hi, friend. Ann says, yes, I am. Kathy says hi to Lover Toy Pups. Hey, guys. If you have dogs and you want a homemade dog food recipe, if you want some great tips on how to feed your dogs, she was talking, Toy Pups was talking on her live stream today, the dangers of feeding your dogs people food, which a lot of us do. I learned a lot just sitting in and listening. Not to mention, it's a highly entertaining channel. She's a whole lot of fun. And you know what? I mention this every time she comes in. I can't guarantee it. I'm not giving you a promise, but maybe. And maybe if you come in and say, hey, I'm coming here from Yogi's, she will sing you a song just for you. A made-up song on the spot just for you. Again, I can't promise that because she doesn't do it to everyone, but you might be one of the lucky ones. I was very fortunate to be one of the lucky ones. Let's see. T says, Yogi, I forgot the breath work this last 6 days. I just can't remember. I manage everything. I forgot this, but I remember that. Then I forget that. Remember this. Yeah, I've been there. I forgot to remind you. So, hey, we're in the same boat. I will do better at reminding you. I will send you messages through the day to remember. Toy Pup says, so chat, how's everyone? Let's see. Toy Pup says, we love you so much. Just a guy doing burpees in his basement. I appreciate that. Thank you. T says, at the moment, I'm trying to wake and nap. Same time routine. That's so important. Remember my meds, vitamins, supplements, and CBD. Love you, Toy Pup says, that's a guarantee. All right, guys. So, you heard that. When's the next live stream? I think you're mostly impromptu. When she's inspired. I do things by a schedule, but here's the funny thing. When the great British playwright and novelist, who wrote one of my favorite books, Razor's Edge, was asked by a group of creative writing students, is it better to write on assignment or when you are inspired? And he said, it is always better to write when you are inspired, but fortunately, inspiration shows up at my desk every morning, 9 a.m. So for me, it works that when I set the time, 1 o'clock, 5:20, 5 a.m., my live stream times, inspiration shows up like that. T says, double trouble. Thanks, Ann. I was watching you do a cup the other day on live. That's awesome, T, because I know you like the crafting channels. You'll really enjoy hanging out with Ann doing crafts quite a bit. So I'm glad you connected. Kathy says I saved that food recipe. Love our toy pups. That's awesome, Kathy. Toy Pup says we will definitely sing you a song. Host, we are so appreciative of you. Thank you, Toy Pups. I'm appreciative of you as well. T says, Yogi, your herbal subs. Just took it. I appreciate the reminder. T says, I've also got to remember my natural stuff for fighting off this damn infection. Toy Pup says, I'm so spontaneous, guys. Just turn notifications on. We do a live. We get inspired when we get inspired. Thank you, Sheena. Sheena gives us a heart. Toy Pup says, my food addiction. And we have better recipes, Kathy. Today was lame. Toy Pup says, my Toy Pups. Love you guys so much. It's much appreciated. Always enjoy it when you pop in. T says, I've got some diamond paintings and decoupage. I know I said that wrong. Stuff to do. My temporary room. Kathy says she'll check them out. Hey, speaking of checking out, guys, make sure you check out Kathy's new videos. She has put up 3 this week, 3 new ones this week. We are aiming for 500 subs by the end of next week. Not a whole lot more to go. She was, last I checked, which was half an hour ago, 435. So if you guys could subscribe, if you're not already. Ann says, what do you think of that squirrel videos? That was so, you know what? Sweet and tender. Watching you feed that squirrel. The squirrel was so tentative and yet trusting at the same time. Absolutely love that video. It was amazing. Amazing to see. Toy Pup says, this is such a safe place to hang out. Liked and shared. I appreciate that. You know what? We do try to make it a safe spot. Now, that doesn't mean that, you know, drama doesn't happen, because you can't avoid it. You're on social media. Drama's going to happen. People are going to come in. Things are going to be said. It's not avoiding drama. It's dealing with drama that counts. Can drama enter onto the page, into the conversation, and can you navigate through it and retain the loving kindness of which it started? That's my goal. My goal is not to avoid anything in life. Anything. Because you can't. That was the lesson of the Buddha. He was sheltered, never experienced suffering, because his father was afraid if he experienced suffering, he would become a Buddha and not a king. Siddhartha was a prince. When he was born, wise yogis showed up and made predictions. He will either become a Buddha, which means the awakening one, or he will become a great king. His father, being a king, wanted him to stay in the family business. So he sheltered him, had him never see anyone suffer, nobody starving, no one poor, no one sick. And so he did when he was 30. And he realized it's going to happen to him and all those that he loves. And he was unprepared for it. So he went out to study, studied with all the great yogis, never learned exactly what he wanted. So he sat under the Budai tree and said, I will sit and meditate until I am awakened. And Mara, the demon of distraction, showed up and threw everything at him, offered him promises. If you quit, I will give you this, I will give you that. Buddha refused to move until he woke up, came out of his meditation, and realized the Four Noble Truths. Life is suffering. Sounds pretty negative, right? However, life is suffering because we cling to that which is impermanent. And then he had a solution on how to escape it. So, it's a long story. I apologize. That I am not trying to avoid drama or any stuff that we don't like on the channel. I like it when it doesn't happen. My preference is that it doesn't happen. But if it does, I want to be able to navigate it through, again, with loving kindness. So let's see. Toy Pup says, Kathy sub. Thank you so much, Toy Pups. Yeah, I did see his arm. That's what made it so, that's what added to the poignancy of it. Poor little guy was missing the top of his arm. But amazing. I left a comment, but amazing how he scampered up the tree, down the tree and up the tree. That video gets my vote for nature video of the year. Hey, Grumpy, how are you, my friend? T says, Deso page, rhymes like beige. Deso page. And it says, let's see. I said to you too, love our toy pups. Toy Pup says, we love squirrels. You're in the right place. We have so many squirrel lovers here. Even though they've been slightly malicious to us. They've had ill intent. Lover Toy Pup says, we had drama today. What was going on today? I can't imagine anyone bringing drama to your place. Kathy says, thanks God I got away from most of the drama. I feel better. I'm glad, Kathy. I'm glad. Toy Pup says, I just ignored it. Probably the best. Fortune Cookie Tarot Cards, Tara by Annabelle. I like the name of that channel. First time here. Mount Buddy Grumper Sappy brought me over. My buddy Grumpy Sapper brought me over. Nice. It is nice to meet you. I love the name of your channel, my friend. And I'm bringing that up. And you have a new subscriber. I'm looking forward to diving in and exploring your channel, my friend. T says, did Daddy get to hear her goal for subs? She did. And says subbed. Yep, that's what I thought. Theme Park says, hi to our pups, fellow Canadian. Fortune says, loving this chat. I'm glad, my friend. Fortune says, woohoo. By the way, I did get a tutorial from Anne on her live stream on how to say whoop whoop, but I still can't get it right. So I got a whoop whoop and I got a woohoo. I have made more different sounds today than I've made just today than I have made, honestly, in my entire life. Toy Pup says, pain and suffering, it makes finding happiness worthwhile and appreciated. I agree. And of course, in Buddhism and yoga, they say that suffering itself is mostly psychological. We don't have to suffer. We can have pain, we can have sorrow, we can have grief, but that doesn't mean that we suffer. Those are natural expressions of loss, and loss happens to everyone. We add suffering into the mix when we say, I don't want this. I don't want to grieve. I don't want to. I've suffered depression. for much of my life, from young adult, teenage years onwards. Literally suffered. Depression is still here. I no longer suffer from depression. Depression happens. I don't welcome it. I don't want it, but I don't fight it. I recognize it's here, it's present. I can deal with it because I've dealt with it for so long. More importantly, I can love myself through it. I can be an advocate for myself. I can do the things that I know will heal me, help me through it. I can hold my own hand. Reminds me, I'm going to go back to Love Our Toy Pups. It reminds me of a live stream, I think it was last week, her singing Miley Cyrus. Don't ask me how I know. I think I only knew it was Miley Cyrus because she told me, but I do know the song. T is still helping me. Desoparge rhymes with large. Desoparge. Let's see. We get the link drop for Grumpy Snapper. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. It's a lot of work, no lie. Thank you so much. It's a lot of work, no lie. It is. It is a lot of work. T says, hi, Annabelle. We have connected before through the hutch. Nice. I haven't been over on the Hutch's page for a while. I need to. Oh, Lover Toy Pup says, guys, we need 900 hours. Please help us. We are begging you. No need to beg. Happy to help. Let me put that in my big book of things to do. It's actually a big little book, but I go through it every day. All the things that I need to do. And one of them is watch hours. You are project number 1 for the weekend. I will have you up. Several people. We're working with Jace. We're working with Tandra, Runner Boy, and Trending Live. So now we add Love Our Toy Pups to the list. Everyone gets watch hours. If you have a channel and you are working on content and there's something that you want to do, let me know. I'm a small channel, but I will do what I can. I'll do whatever I can to help you guys out. Let's see. Oh, and Fortune Cookie said, and the content. Much appreciated. So 900 hours, and you'll reach the 4,000. We can do that in a week. Grumpy says, Fortune Cookies tarot comes very recommended. She's very good. Nice. I'm definitely going to spend time this weekend exploring her channel. Ann says, I need to go. You all have a blessed evening. You too, Ann. We're actually going to go too in just a minute. Kathy says, I've already subbed to you, Fortune. I had already subbed. Well, I'm glad you guys are making these connections. Toy Pup says, this is my number. People bring up topics like religion or politics. We just try not to get into it. I try to be a politically free channel because it won't lead to peace whatsoever. As soon as you take a side, you've created opposition. Someone else is naturally going to take the other side. But here's the thing. We can all agree on love. We can all agree on patience. We can all agree on compassion. We can all agree on empathy. So when we get that agreement down packed, everything naturally extends from there. I naturally assume that there's people here who will vote very differently than me. Don't care. Because now I have you on a true connection. I have you on a connection that's deeper than politics, and we can see through it. Now we've created a sense of peace. Now we don't have to worry about a label that you are this and I am that, because we're not. Those are just labels. We're not labels. Are you really a Democrat? Are you really a Republican? Are you really liberal? Are you really conservative? Or is that just the thoughts that you have about politics? It's not who you are. Who you are is way too large to be reduced to a label. I'd rather relate to that than to a label. I think it was Pascal, the philosopher. He said, once you label me, you negate me. Let's see. Fortune says, thank you, C. Payton. And it always causes problems. It does, Kathy. Toy Pup says, thank you. Kathy says, you're welcome. Guys, share the live now. Please, thank you. Toy Pup says, mesmerized. Kathy says it will help too. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, we will get you. We will get you 900. Let's make sure we keep helping each other. We're hoping by the end of the week to have Kathy, by the end of next week, to have Kathy at 500 subs. Toy Pup says, I can buy myself flowers. I can hold my own hand. I can talk to myself for hours and say things you don't understand. Miley Cyrus. You know what I love about Miley Cyrus? How, child actor, making regular pop music, teenage pop music, which is what she should have done. She was a teenager. And growing into an artist, growing into a very talented artist. Amazing to see. I started watching her backyard sessions because she was singing with Dolly Parton, who I absolutely love, who was her godmother, by the way. I know way too much about Miley Cyrus. I'm not bragging. I'm not proud, but I know way too much about Miley Cyrus. I just love the fact that she grew up to be an artist, that she grew into an artist. When so many people who have been in that situation, child actors, were unable to do so. I can love me better than you can. It's such a wonderful message. And Toy Pups sings it so beautifully. Tina says, these burgers need to hurry up. I'm starving. Isn't that the worst thing when they're on the grill and it seems to be taking their time? Let's see. Love yourself first. That way you can spew love to the world. Absolutely. It all starts within. So yesterday, we have a young person who loves to show up and yell at me for not talking about world issues, specifically Palestine, Israel. And she's like, don't you ever talk about that? And the answer was no, we don't. Because I'm not going to have an answer here that's going to help the situation. You coming in here and yelling at me to talk about it doesn't change the situation. However, that doesn't mean that I am not, sorry, my cat just went crazy. One of my cats just went crazy. However, it doesn't mean I'm not concerned, and it doesn't mean I'm not doing anything about it. I'm doing exactly what Toy Pups just said. I am making the internal changes to myself. I am giving myself the gift of inner peace so that I can extend it to everyone that comes in here, and they can extend it to everyone that comes into their chat, and on and on and on. It starts with you. Until one person can perceive peace, there won't be peace. The only way to perceive peace isn't to change the effects of the world. That's never worked. Marching against war has never stopped the war. If you want to change war, we need to eliminate the thought of war, which means we go within. We do the inner work. we meditate, we learn to love ourselves, or we relearn to love ourselves, because love is what we are. We've just forgotten. So what we do, we have fearful thoughts because we've forgotten that we love, and we project those fearful thoughts out into the world. So we perceive a world of violence, a war where it's possible, a world where it's possible for wars to happen, a world where it's possible for children to suffer, for dogs, animals across the board to suffer. None of that has to happen. We change our thoughts. We, instead of projecting fear, we extend ourselves as love, and we perceive a different world. It's both easy and not easy. Hey, amateur angler, how are you? Nice to see you, my friend. Love is greater than anything, absolutely. Quick Pep says, I want to do a super chat, but I got scammed, guys. Not a problem. It is a super chat when you show up, my friend. It is a super chat when Sheena and Ann and T and Theme Park and Kathy, Amateur Angler, when you guys show up, it is already a super chat. Love is free, love is colorful, love is fun, and you can find peace in loving others. We are the best friends in the world. I agree, 100%. Kathy says, oh no, that's terrible. It is. Getting scammed on that is, what a shame. So what's new, angler? Amateur says, hi, fella, how's it going? It's going pretty well. We're getting ready to wrap things up. I'm actually late in my live stream. I try to go to bed by 7 o'clock in the evening. Yes, I know that's boring, but I like getting up at 2:30 in the morning, and it is never boring at 2:30 in the morning. It's, man, pre-dawn hours, magical. Most magical time of the day. It's a time of creation. If you want to manifest anything in your life, get up before the sunrise, ask for what you want for. It's the great Sufi mystic poet, Rumi, says, do not go back to sleep. Wake before the hours of dawn and whisper what you ask, what you wish for. Do not go back to sleep. In yogic traditions, it's called Brahma Muhurtai, the hours of God. Toy Pup says, oh my God, Jolene, that's one of the few karaoke songs that I'll sing. Kathy says, hi to amateur. Hey, Dredson, my friend, how are you? Kathy says, hi, MF. All right, so I'm going to wrap things up, guys. Angler says, I made some new friends today. It's quite easy. Couple of old socks, hand up them, and then they're your friends. I'm going to try that. I might even bring my friends onto a live stream with me, inspired by our friend Amateur Angler. Stay tuned. I might do a karaoke duet. Or would it be what's when 3 people sing? Harmony with my new friends. Theme Park says, thanks for streaming. You're welcome, my friend. Hey, you're going live this weekend, right? Did you say tomorrow? Kathy says, I subbed amateur. Thank you for that, Kathy. If you guys don't mind tonight, slide on over to C. Payton's channel. Help us get to 500. That's the goal, guys. Toy Pup says, Mr. Jed, Slums, we subbed. Amateur is flexing for C. Payton. Team says Sunday twice. Awesome. Guys, make sure that you check out Theme when he goes live. Keep an eye out, as Toy Pup said. Hit the subscribe. Get all notifications. That way you know when she's going to pop up. Hopefully soon. Man, made a new friend. Fortune Cookies, very nice to meet you, my friend. Theme Park says, I'm busy tomorrow with family. Understandable. All right, guys. So I'm going to shut things down. I'm going to get to bed. I'm going to see everyone tomorrow. Be doing my normal live stream stuff. If you're going live, if you see me live, come on in and let me know when you're going to go live. I'll send people over. We can't hoard people. It's one thing we know for sure. You cannot hoard people. Send them all about. You know? I'm just as happy if someone's hanging out on your live stream as they are on mine. Kathy says, good night, Eric. Good night, my friend. And good night, everyone. Amateur says, cheers for live, bud. Thank you, Amateur, my friend. Thank you for the laugh. Always appreciated. Theme says, good night, Yogi. Good night, Theme. I will see everyone tomorrow. Once again, I do a 5 a.m. reading, or live stream, where I read. Last week, I read from my very own book that I wrote in 2000. Actually, I wrote it in 1999. It was published in 2000. Now I'm reading more from A Course in Miracles. Before that, I read from the Tao Te Ching, then the Bhagavad Gita. Always open to reading something else if you have suggestions. But if you're up for whatever reason, I don't know why you would be. 5 a.m. is pretty early. But if you are, come on by. Hey, Nightmare. Man, you hung in there. The whole live stream, my friend. That is much appreciated. That's a true feat of endurance. That's a good friend. I'm glad I made you a moderator. If I hadn't before, I would right now. That's how much I appreciate you. Guys, take care.